guys, how's it going? Brian and Colton here with EBFG TV here for another match preview / review. It's been a busy week for the boys after a disappointing road loss against Kansas City, and we got a big home matchup against another struggling team in RSL coming up tomorrow.
I don't have a lot to say about that match in Kansas City. It was pretty dire. We kind of joked around saying that our match review would just be us shaking our heads for 30 seconds and then saying like, subscribe, share, whatever. But yeah, it wasn't good. I was busy with school stuff, so I didn't get to watch it, but I did watch the highlights. Yeah, highlights and
heavy air quotes there.
Yeah, and it seemed kind of like almost all three goals were nearly comically bad.
It was the second one especially was.
It was a comedy of errors. The defense still, as I've kind of said all season, our defense is still the big question mark, but now our offense isn't there either. So we just we don't look good. It's getting tough. I think, as I've said, you can put the Toronto result up to maybe some bad luck, maybe some bad calls, some bad bounces, a disallowed goal, whatever. But the last two results, we've just been just bad. You got to say it pretty plainly. We've just been bad lately.
I mean, to be fair, we came out very strong in both those road games. Looked very good in the first half. We got a goal in Chicago, tied it up, went in even at halftime, went in even at halftime again in Kansas City. And then between those two second halves, we were outscored 6-0. Which is certainly not what you want to see.
And I mean, MLS schedule is hard, MLS road schedule is hard, all of that. You can make that excuse all day, but at the end of the day, it doesn't even look like there's a whole lot of effort in the second half of these games. I mean, it's just been it's sad to watch, honestly, from a team that was so passionate, so fiery towards the end of last year on the MLS Cup run. It's sad to see them just look lethargic almost. Just boring. Yeah, I mean, it's back to the ways of last season when we were losing these games, and it's frustrating to see. And we had this weird trend at the beginning of the season where we would be garbage for the first part of the game. Yeah. And then at the end, we'd get, fired up and come in and get a late equalizer, or at least, make a game out of it, get a goal back and make it interesting. And now we seem to be doing the opposite, where we come out pretty strong, get some scoring chances. We've hit some posts and had some near misses. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's not bad luck if you miss the goal. You missed. And it just seems to be getting to the guys. And then we maybe, one defensive lapse, we allow a goal, and it just, everything from there just seems to go downhill. We looked very good individually, I think. We have a lot of talent. You can't deny that this isn't a talented roster. It's a good roster. Right. But they're not gelling as a team. They're not gelling as an 11 on the field at one time. I don't want to use this phrase, obviously, because it's negative towards the team, but they look like a lot of independent contractors right now, and not exactly a team. And I think towards the end of last season, that's one thing we were so good at, is being a team, covering for guys when they made mistakes, just being there for guys. The team morale even seemed much better towards the end of last year. Yeah. And now it just doesn't, it's just not the same. And, last year, Kansas City was the turning point after that awful result. Maybe this year, the same thing happens. And luckily it's a lot earlier in the season. The first step of that is tomorrow against Salt Lake. Yeah, it's a great game scheduling wise for us right now. They did win their last game and unfortunately jumped above us in the standings, but they've been a team this season that have just been in very poor form as well. Yeah. And a home game against a team struggling that bad is certainly, if there was going to be a point where we could, say, okay, we can get 3 points here, it's going to be this one. I totally agree. It's been very individualistic, which is odd to see out of this team, which, even back as far as 2009, we were very strong in our team play. We maybe not always have the best roster on paper, even when we're putting in subs and stuff, but they always seem to work so well together. Yeah. And it's I hate to point out one individual, but the biggest part in that second half of last season was obviously we signed Lodero, bring him in as a playmaker, and immediately he just found this chemistry with guys linking up. Even at times this year, you look at the LA Galaxy game, him, Dempsey, and Morris were just doing these like triangle passes all over the field, linking up. And then you look at the Chicago game or the Kansas City game or these other games that we're dropping, and he's just not had that same effect. I don't know if it's a positioning thing or if it's just something's going on with him. Or I'm not sure. But when Nico's not clicking, the team as a whole is not clicking. Yeah. He's one of those players that when he's on, and he looks fantastic. He looks amazing. But when he's not, it's kind of hard to watch sometimes because he's such a playmaker, and he can insert himself into the game so forcefully almost sometimes. That when he's not doing that, when he's not making those plays, when it's not clicking on all cylinders, it's hard to watch. It's rough. And so he needs to kind of turn that around, I think. I think mentally a big game tomorrow against Salt Lake would be huge for him.
Definitely.
To kind of, to turn the season around this early too, because it is a long season. We're going into the summer, which is always tough months. No matter how well you started, June and July are always tough.
Right.
Because weather and travel and all those kinds of things. It really becomes a grind this part of the season. And mentally, I think for him and for the rest of the team, it's huge to get a positive result tomorrow and not another 3-goal drubbing.
Oh, please. I mean, even I shouldn't say I'd be happy with a draw, but I would be happy with a draw if the performance was there.
I'll be happy with a good draw. This is a poor example because the whole come from behind aspect. But like the 4-4 Portland draw a few years ago.
Right. But that was a 4-4 draw where it wasn't like we played terrible all game. It was just a very back and forth game.
Yeah. We went down 4-2 and ended up, coming back and making it 4-4. Yeah. So I'm not saying we're going to come back tomorrow, but a good performance that results in a point would be positive tomorrow, especially just how bad the last few games have been.
Absolutely. I would probably even take that over a bad win, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Some lucky bounce going in or like a bad refereeing decision where we played bad and didn't deserve it. And I think they'll come out fired up. I think the guys know. I don't know if you saw the interview with Brad Evans after the game. Brad is, as you know, a very I can't say that word, I guess. A no BS kind of guy. And was very clear that they know that it's not good enough.
For sure.
And he's the type of guy in the locker room that's not going to let this keep happening.
For sure.
So I actually wouldn't mind, if he's healthy enough, of course, seeing him start, whether it be at midfield or maybe a right back or wherever Schmetz feels like he can go in. Because I feel like we need that leadership quality on the field that's maybe been lacking this season.
He's almost always a positive influence, no matter how well or how bad he's playing, which is good. Just that leadership quality on the field is huge, especially tomorrow. And another thing is that they have a stadium behind them, which they haven't had the last 2 games.
Right.
We all know how good the atmosphere at CenturyLink can be when the team is on. And I think tomorrow is big for the players and the fans to kind of show the players that we're still behind them and show them that we're not going to give up quite as easy, because they showed us last year that what they're capable of, and I think they're capable of much better than what we've seen the last 2 games.
Absolutely. And speaking of what they're capable of, let's get right into match predictions. Boom. What do you think they are capable of?
Yeah, what a transition. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I think they're capable of winning by a couple goals, because Salt Lake, as we've said, have been kind of down this year. They lost a bunch of players in the offseason, kind of some front office turmoil. I'll say 2-0. Okay. I think that might involve Fry coming up big, which, I've said we need to stop relying on Stefan Fry, but at the same time, we need to get results as well. So if that's what it takes to get results, then so be it. So yeah, I'm going to say 2-0. I
like it. And yeah, I would agree that we need to stop relying on Fry as much, but sometimes, especially in front of those big home crowds, especially when it's in front of the ECS, sometimes, a big save, even if it's off a bad defensive mistake, that can energize the fans, it can energize the team.
For sure.
So yeah, it'd be great to see. I'm not gonna say clean sheet, just because I still feel like our backline has some issues.
Yeah.
But I feel like the offense wakes up tomorrow, and I'm gonna go 3-1 Sounders.
All right, 3-1, 2-0. I like it. You like it? Yeah, 3 points. That's all I'm asking for tomorrow, because we need to turn this around much earlier than the middle of July, which is what it was last year. Because we can't expect every year to be almost bottom of the conference in middle of July and then somehow make this miraculous MLS Cup run. I think that's all we have for you today, guys. Thanks for watching EBFG TV. As always, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Twitter at EBFG TV. We'll see you hopefully after a much more positive match on Saturday night.